News Center, I'm Zach Prosbo with your sports report. The Vulcans took care of the meat of their schedule with home tilts against rivals Slippery Rock and IUP, and now continue on the road to the PSAC title with a trip to Memorial Stadium in Clarion. Clarion, a 2-5 team going into the game, were losers of 4 straight and look to upset the high-flying Vulcans on their march to the PSAC West title.
Going from left to right.
See there, California in the home whites have a couple home tilts still left on the schedule in the coming few weeks. First score of the game after a cow turnover from Corey Ford. Harris finds Tom Green about 25 yards out. First score of the year for the freshman receiver. But Clarion would answer right away on their next drive. Connor Simmons, a 9-yard rush into the end zone, and they would convert the 2-point conversion as well. Make it 8-7 for Clarion. But California's offense will turn on the Jets yet again. Gary Brown about 20 yards out on the screen pass from James Harris. Goes to the end zone, makes it 21-8. And then Harris, going far down the field, about 40 yards out, finds Kawan Scott for the score, making it 28-8. Clarion would respond before halftime, though, so it's 28-14 in the third quarter. Harris throws his first interception in 182 pass attempts to Julian Hauser, senior defensive lineman from Allatoona. That would set up this score for Clarion from Connor Simmons about 5 yards out, make it 28-20. California would respond to the field goal, but then Matt Lehman, a long downfield pass from Connor Simmons, beating the California defense, making it 31-27. But California's offense would keep going as Terrell Roberson finds the end zone yet again, and California will hold tough, and CalU holds on in a high-scoring affair, and with the win, stand one victory away from hosting the PSAC championship. Leading CalU's efforts were James Harris, who threw for 284 yards and 3 scores. Registering his first career score was freshman receiver Tom Green, and on defense, Jeff Knox contributed 11 tackles, 3.5 for a loss, including 1.5 sacks. And we will quickly look at the PSAC West standings. Gannon and California this coming week. If Gannon can knock off California, they'd be the one spot. California can clinch the West with a win this coming week. As now we'll also go ahead and look at the regional rankings that came out this past week as well, the first time. California sitting in the 3 spot behind Concord and Bloomsburg, the only undefeated teams remaining in Super Region 1. Followed closely behind Cal's Westchester, Winston-Salem, and American International. And it's going to come right down to the wire with a lot of 1-loss and 2-loss teams in Super Region 1. Now, CalU's defensive backfield has turned into a breeding ground for future NFL stars. Dewey McDonald is making his presence felt as a gunner for the Indianapolis Colts, who recently lost to the Steelers at Heinz Field last week. CUTV's Creighton Rabs offers a look at the next generation of Cal's defenders and also a preview of Saturday's big game against Gannon.
CalU's pipeline to the NFL keeps growing. First with Terrence Johnson, Tommy Campbell, Rontez Miles, and now Dewey McDonald, who played 3 years at Fairmont State under Cal defensive coordinator Mike Lopez.
He was awesome at Fairmont. He was a big man on campus, as they say. So he was an All-American as an early, I think it's maybe a freshman. He was an academic, a multiple academic All-American. So he was the face of our program, and I was proud to have recruited him. And if you would ask me if Dewey McDonald would be playing for the Colts, 3 or 4 years ago, I'd say, well, it's a tough league, and he's got to do this, and this. It's too hard to predict that stuff.
McDonald's promotion to the Indianapolis Colts active roster is the latest feather in the cap for a highly regarded secondary.
We're very young in the secondary right now. Aaron Terry's a sophomore, Jordan Bones is a sophomore, Chaz Ville's a junior, but has been a role player throughout his career. Arnell Farmer is a young kid, a sophomore as well. So they're talented, but we're young in that area, and you can, I think, see it in some of the ball games, but we certainly wouldn't trade them for no one.
That secondary will be shorthanded as Terry will miss Saturday's game against Gannon after his ejection last week at Clarion.
That is a big loss, but we've dealt with adversity all season long, starting in preseason with not getting some of the kids that we thought we were going to have. Our team takes the approach that the next guy's up, and someone's got to step up and do a job, and we got to play better as an entire team and help to make up for the loss of Aaron. Gannon's a very good football team. They're playing well right now. They got a very good offense. They got one of the better rushing attacks in the league. They got a 3-year starter quarterback who can make throws from different platforms, different arm angles. Very accurate kid, and they're a very good defense. I mean, they make you earn every yard that you get against them. So we got a huge challenge in front of us this week with Gannon at home.
For CUTV News Center, I'm Creighton Rabs.
And as mentioned before, California and Gannon this coming Saturday, November the 1st at 1 o'clock is kickoff. You can listen to the game live on 91.9 WCAL, online only, mind you. Tape delay coverage will also be available on CUTV, airing next Monday at 6 and Tuesday at 4. Now, guys, quickly before we get to the thing, I saw your Halloween costumes. For those that are fans of The Office, the great American comedy show, I am 3-hole punch Zach, like Jim was, and I also brought my sticky note. I can't write book on my face, so I'm Facebook as well as Jim did, and also my name is Dad. But anyways, getting back to sports coverage, we talk about football so much. The preseason basketball polls came out today for men's and women's. California women's ranked 3rd in the preseason. California men ranked 7th. What are your guys' prospects for the upcoming season for both of the teams?
I think the women's team is the dark horse to win the PSAC. Edinburgh's going to be tough. We're returning a lot of players back. The men, they're down 7th, but hey, I mean, I forget one team last year was like really low and made a run out. I think it was like UPJ. So anything's possible.
And the men's team, since they are in 7th, I'm interested to see just what they can bring up to the table this year. I would really like them to show us something this year because I think they have the ability to do so. The women's team, I'm definitely expecting it out of them, especially ranked 3rd right now.
In California, they were able to sneak in on the men's side in the playoffs last year. Maybe if you can get a first-round win, be a really good success monitor for your season. And the women, I really think, like you said, Matt, they have a chance to sneak away with the PSAC West this season.
Be a battle between Gannon, Edinburgh, and Cal. So, yes. Thank you, Zach. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of News Center.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel at CUTV News Center for the latest video and full newscast.
Thanks for watching, and have a great week.